Hey everybody, welcome back to the saw shop. It is Friday night in the shop. How you guys doing? We finally got winter here. We had that major, I wouldn't call it major, but we had a fairly significant front roll through here. Lots of wind and snow and slush. They got absolutely hammered west of me, like the Brandon Souris area, and they always get the short end, or they always draw the short straw, it seems, when there's storms. But we didn't get it too bad here. A little bit less west of Winnipeg, but the weather's changed, friends. It is -10, which is 14 degrees Fahrenheit. It's cold and damp out, and just hanging out in the saw shop. This is what we do in the winter here. And I will report, friends, that little diesel heater I have, it is not my wood stove. My wood stove, I can sit around in shorts in the middle of winter here when it's -30 with that thing going. The difference is, friends, and I will say this, the wood stove takes time. You gotta light the fire, get it going, get a bed of coals, throw wood in there, and then get it rocking and rolling. I'm not home enough because I do commute and I do work full time. I'm not home enough to keep that thing going all winter. It just doesn't have a long enough burn time for me. So the diesel heater's been nice. I came home, we had dinner, I fired that thing up, and I let it run for about an hour. It was hour and a half. It was -4 Celsius in here. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, probably in the low 20s. And, well, I fired that thing up. I let it run for about an hour, and it is 14 degrees Celsius. So I think that's in the 50s somewhere. Warm enough for working, and it's been a good deal so far. I'll keep reporting on that. Again, there's a million brands. It doesn't matter what brand I have. They're all pretty much the same. I thought I'd show you guys that. Anyhow, friends, what am I doing today? Well, I'm going to keep going on the P42 that we're working on. And one thing I want to do today, I got my gram scale. I want to just check weights on the pistons. I can't tell. They feel about the same to me. The Little Red Barn piston versus the OEM piston. I have an OEM piston that is an exact copy or an exact match for the Little Red Barn piston. Let's weigh the piston, and then I'm going to go in and do some work. Let's start with the piston and work our way out. We know the timing numbers we have. A lot of you guys were saying maybe I should decrease the squish. Perhaps we can do that. It's at 34 or 35 thou. I'd be pretty comfy cutting 10 off there and making her about 25. So we might do that. And then let's get to porting it. Timing number-wise, friends, I got the numbers right here. It's 103 in the exhaust, and I got 20 degrees of blowdown. For this saw, I think I'll put her somewhere around 100. I'd like this thing to pull a long bar. And at 100, I'll have 23 degrees of blowdown. And then I'd like to go in there a little bit and open up these cylinders. I'd like to trench the cases. You guys have seen that. If you haven't seen trenching of cases, go to my Home Light playlist, that 922 I built for Bucking, that absolute monster. I did substantial casework to that saw. But perhaps I could fill that case with something to keep the chips out and do a little bit of work where the transfers meet the case. But anyhow, friends, today let's weigh these two pistons, see what we got for weight, and then I'm going to go in with my Fordham and I'm going to do a little bit of work to this piston. I'm not going to take a ton off, but I'm going to smooth it. I don't like rough edges on my pistons. I will say, friends, the chamfer on this, there's no sharp edges on this piston, but there are right here. All the way around where the ring or where the wrist pin goes in is really sharp, and there's some really sharp corners on the insides. We're going to get rid of those and alleviate some weight without without thinning it too much. So anyhow, I'll bring you guys in. Let's weigh this, and then let's do some grinding. Okay, here's our handy dandy gram scale. Put it to on. It's zeroed. I have it set on grams. Notice this is a factory P40, P41 piston. Okay, so that's saying 76 grams. 75, 76. We'll go with that. Okay. This is our little red barn piston. It is definitely heavier. Couldn't feel it in my hands. Actually, now that I picked them up, I can feel it, but it's not much. So, you know, this isn't the most accurate scale. I just use it for horsing around. We'll say we're 4 or 5 grams difference. And just for fun, this is a P42. Okay, a piston out of a saw like this. A little bit heavier, not much. And just for fun, here's a P51. 100 grams, so there you guys go. That's actually pretty light for a piston that size. One note, this one has the rings in it. That's probably the weight difference. No rings in either of these, so that gives us an accurate... This scale's kind of silly lately. Oh, it's all over the place, friends. That's okay, though. We're just horsing around, right? So maybe they are the same. Weird. I know these digital scales, they're not the best. This is just a chef scale. So they're the same. There you go. Well, that's pretty good. Now, what I'm going to do here, friends, I'm going to go in with my Fordham. And I'm going to do a little work in here. I'm just going to get rid of some of these sharp spots. I'm not a fan of this. You could cut paper with that. Just getting rid of anywhere that we could develop a stress riser. This piston will be under stress because we're going to port this saw. All these little details are the difference, friends. When you build a work saw, I do not build race saws. Race saws are cool, but not really something I'm super into. That's just me. I'm very utilitarian, friends. My wife always says I use my stuff. I buy tools to use them. My truck, I use it. I haul stuff and tow with it. If I'm going to port a saw, I want to be able to use it. Now, whether I use it all the time is irrelevant. But, you know, if I build a saw, I want a fella to be able to go into the woods or go on a job site and be able to cut with it. So, let's do some work to this piston and let's see where we end up. I'm just going to start grinding away and let's do this. Okay, I'm going to go in here and there's this sharp edge all the way around the inside. I want to get rid of that. And we'll just run and gun here. Just got a random burr on. It's kind of one of these egg-shaped ones. I use those a lot. Okay, let's just go in there and take this corner off. Now, I'm not sure I like what I'm seeing already, so I think I'm going to take this bit off. It's really good to have a good assortment of cutting tools and different burrs to kind of get the shapes you want. It's all different kinds of burrs. Use ones that aren't super low quality. You don't have to buy the really expensive ones, but the better the quality, well, the better the burr usually. The more money. But okay. I'm just gonna go around. I'm gonna try and blend that right into the main body of the piston. Okay, now I'm going to go in here with a sanding drum and just smooth all that out. I'm going to grab the other little red barn piston so you guys can see an apples to apples. See this sharp edge? I'm just blending it in. I won't show you guys all that on video, but you get the idea. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, the rest of this is pretty smooth. I'm not really going to touch really much or any of it. Just trying to get rid of some of the sharpness, and then I'm going to go in and radius this, okay? So again, here's the out-of-the-box Little Red Barn piston, and here's what I'm doing. Okay, hope that shows you guys what I'm doing, and then we'll jump back in. Okay, we're back. That gives you a better idea. I just like to show you guys what I'm doing, good, bad, or ugly. I show pretty much everything. The only things I don't show are the things that really don't matter. Again, stock. See that really sharp edge? I don't like that. Like, it's sharp. You can cut your finger on there. All I did was blend it and taper it in. Now, I'm just going to leave the camera running. But I got one of these. Okay, sanding drum. I use tons of these. You can buy them online, eBay, places like that, by the hundreds. And I just buy them in bulk and keep them in Ziploc bags and use them. I use them for all kinds of different jobs like this. I can go in here. This is a 600 grit sanding drum. I can go in here and just shine this thing right up. Really make sure that that edge is gone, because it's hard to see once you cut it. Okay, and I can just go in here and get rid of anything I don't like without taking too much material. Again, when you're grinding by here, you don't want to thin that skirt out too much, or what could happen is it'll break. I haven't thinned the skirt out really at all. Okay, and I'm just going to show you guys about how long this takes. I'm not really super concerned about making this pretty. I'm just concerned about, you know, making sure that the work I did, that I haven't left anything, and just, I want to make it a little bit slippery. Because again, I don't want any stress risers. If the inside's sharp, you can literally take this and just go like that. Go all the way around it. Okay. I'm at about medium speed. Again, I'm not pushing. Okay, friends, and that just makes that real nice. I could do the outside if I was worried about it. The outside on this piston's nice. And then here, it's really sharp. So I'm just going to take this. You can see my shaft's a little bent on this one. See if I can pull it back. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm just breaking that edge. It's really sharp. I have a feeling if I threw this piston in stock, it would actually maybe get some scratches there. Oh, that's nice now. And then I'll go around and do this side, same thing, hold it at an angle. Okay, all the way around. Again, just touch it. If there's anything sharp, hit it. Don't be afraid to do this stuff. You're not hurting anything. You guys have seen on the channel, I've ground on multiple pistons. Many of them have never had a problem. That 460 we built for Caleb on the channel and gave to him. See, friends, the same thing. I'm just going to go all the way around. Just going to bevel this edge. I was talking to Caleb the other night, and I said, how's the 460? We talk all the time. We've been buddies for years, and just another guy I met through YouTube. But he said, you know, for a work saw, I said, what do you look for in a work saw? And he said, well, first thing, it's got to start. He's like, that saw, 2 pulls, it fires every time, which is what I experienced here. And he said it's got to start real easy. He likes that. You know, he's cutting for a living. You don't want to smoke your shoulder trying to fire up a saw. He said it just cuts like mad, but he said, you know, it really doesn't use any more fuel than, say, a stock 90cc saw, but it'll outcut one, and it's way lighter, and it's like, you know, and that, I like the feedback, friends, you know, from a guy cutting 5-6 days a week, running a business, and again, you know, that 460 has a lot of piston work done to it. We ground that piston a ton. Oh, I went over the edge a couple times and it didn't do anything, friends, because this 600 grit really, it's pretty hard to get into trouble with one of these. Okay, and I'm just finishing it. There you go. I think we'll be good there. I'm going to show you guys a couple things that I think I'm going to do. These lay down cylinder saws, and by lay down I mean they're like this. They really hug the handle and that. These aren't as bad, friends. Home lights are the worst for this. A lot of home lights. There's no fins on the back of the cylinder. And of course your flywheel's here, so you're going to have a real nasty hot side and with no fins. You may want to drill some holes in the pistons. And what I mean by that, I think we'll do that to this one. Because, well, I like to show you guys things, and I've never done that on video. Sometimes I'll drill a hole here and here for oiling, get some oil to the wrist pin, keep it cooler. I may do that in this case. And then, like I said, this is the intake side, this is the exhaust side. Notice the wrist pin is in the exhaust, kind of interesting. On home lights, the exhaust is the wrist pin is actually capped because I guess they didn't want any exhaust going through there. It's kind of an interesting thing. Seeing it's marked exhaust right here. What I'll probably do on this one is I'll mark the edges of my intake or my exhaust port after we grind it, and then I may drill a couple of holes, one here and one there. And then what that'll do, when the piston's coming down, all that fuel and air will get shoved into that little hole I drill, and it'll become a pressurized oil jet. Okay, as the oil's coming out, you know, as this thing's going down and building pressure, that oil will squirt through there, and I will literally coat both sides of my exhaust port, you know, with oil. And what that'll do is lower the operating temperature. When you lower the temperature of an air-cooled motor, you make more horsepower, friends. That's a fact. Again, that's why I don't do the race saw thing. Race saws are cool, but I think it's harder to build a work saw because you got to keep it from overheating, right? A work saw has to run tank after tank, and it's only as good if it'll maintain temperature. So, just my thoughts, friends. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. I've been wrong before, and I've been right before. So here's what I did. It looks a lot rougher on camera. Okay, stock right here. Tin manized. Okay, and now, because we're here, it's Friday night, we're just hanging out. I love Friday night in the shop. It's my favorite videos to make because, well, Friday nights in the shop is what a lot of guys do. Okay, so this one's saying it's, you know, 79. We'll say it's 79 grams. How much weight did we take off of this? Really nothing, friends. Yeah, and I know we did. The scale is not super accurate. Okay. I haven't taken enough weight off this to even measure it. Okay. That may be the scale. It may not be. Hold on, I'm going to double, triple check this scale. I'm going to put different batteries in it. Well, I put different batteries in the scale, and it's telling me nothing. So, I think it's time I get a new scale, friends. Oh, well, unsigned science. I can feel it. This thing's lighter than this now. Honestly, I probably took 2-3 grams off at the most, but you guys can see it's not crazy. This scale is not super, you know, super accurate. I have reloading scales in the house that maybe we could try, but for all intents and purposes, friends, I probably took a couple grams off this thing. But I just wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. The devil's in the details, and all these little things are just the system that I've devised to make a good, long-lasting, reliable work saw. Okay, well, there you guys go. A little bit of piston work. I'm not done the piston. I'll probably still drill some holes in it. I've never done that on video. I think I'll do that on this saw so you guys can see. And then again, we got to go in here and lay out our port work. And another thing I really want to do is, oh no, this is good. I want to drill some holes, like I said, on each side of the exhaust port on this saw to give it a chance. And hopefully, if I do all those things, I'll end up with a good saw. Or it'll blow up, friends. That's the nature of what we're doing. And honestly, friends, you know, the longer you do this, once in a while a saw is going to blow up and you're not going to know why. Those are the ones you learn from. But knock on tin, you know, I've had a pretty good run. I get saws that don't run properly, but that's because I work on old junk like this. So that's the truth, friends. But I do that on video because it's just more fun that way. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Take her easy, and we'll just keep plugging away at this thing. I'll show you guys the ins and outs. You guys know what we do here of vintage power saws. Friends, don't underestimate these reed saws. When you port them and you do it properly, they are absolute monsters. Pound for pound, a good ported reed saw will make more power than a piston ported every time. So this one should not let us down, and we'll just see what we see. But again, I'm going to do a bunch of moves because I'm more worried about this thing blowing up than I am about being able to make it make power. So we'll see what we see. Anyhow, friends, thanks for hanging on Friday night, and I'll see you guys in a couple days. Later.